from anywhere, and it's going to spark a whole new generation of entrepreneurs and leaders who can do this stuff. So, man, the people, if you're at home watching this right now, you're in the room. These guys that Gerard is bringing to you are the guys that are actually doing it. And if you follow the proven steps, you're also going to be successful. You just got to put your head down and do it.
We're getting ready to go meet one of my other boys, Clemens. Now, before I get into Craig, just check this out. If you've been watching this series, do me a favor. We're on episode 10. We're putting all this effort in here. I'm letting you into my world, into my network. I want to hear from you guys. All right, if there's somebody that inspires you or even just some thoughts on the series, hit me and Digital Jeff up by commenting below and let us know what you think of the series. Check it out, we're gonna be meeting with Clemens, another unbelievably inspiring dude that I'm blessed to have in my network. Okay, he's probably one of the top 3 copywriters in the world.
Being able to write compelling sales copy is pretty much proven to be the most valuable skill in the world. Because if you can do that, you can get people to take action doing whatever you want.
But it wasn't all easy, right? Craig had to drop out of school, you know, tried every single way of making money on the back of every single advertisement he could find.
Like, you know, how to make money mailing postcards or, you know, selling long distance phone service, and things like that. I'd send away for all of them. And
really?
I met a guy when I was 13 years old. His name was Phil, and he was my karate instructor. He was 9 years older than me. And he became like an older brother to me. I was the oldest in my family.
Yeah.
And I remember everyone thought I was really silly for doing all these little things and all that. But he believed in me. He's like, you know, one of these days, one of them is going to work out. And I remember being like 16 years old, like talking to him on my parents' phone, because that's how it was, you know, no cell phones. And I'm in the kitchen and I'm like, okay, I got this one. Like, I think you like lick a stamp and then you send it to someone else, and then like, you know, they lick the stamp and their friend sends it and it comes back, and eventually you get like $5 for each stamp or whatever. And he's like, man, I don't know what any of this stuff is, but one of these you're gonna figure out. I was like, yeah, one of these is gonna work, but I didn't know which one.
I mean, this guy was completely, you know, lost. And what he did was he figured out, how can I get a mentor?
I found out how much money he was making selling this ebook.
Right.
And I was like, dude, you're making $70,000 a month selling this thing on the internet. And I'm sitting here like smiling and dialing on the phone, like when a good month for me is like, you know, $2,000 or something like that, like would have been a miracle. I was like, oh, can I come work for you? I'll, you know, buy you coffee, I'll go get your lunch, I'll shine your shoes, whatever you need. I just want to find this out. And he's like, you know, sorry man, but no thanks.
How he got this mentor to work with him is he provided value. He showed him that he can write.
Like, his business was this dating advice book he would sell called Double Your Dating. And when people would come to his website, he asked for their email address. And when they'd sign up, he'd send them an email newsletter 3 times a week with like tips and advice. So it was like the best place to take a girl on a first date, or how to get a girl's phone number without rejection, or, you know, what to say when you meet the parents, stuff like that, right? And I'd sign up for the newsletter, and I'm reading these things, and he told me that every time he would send a newsletter, he would sell $4,000 worth of the ebook to the people on his email list who hadn't bought it yet. I'm reading these and I'm like, you know, I could write these tips. It wasn't rocket science.
Yeah.
So one day I sat down and I wrote one, and I'll never forget it. It was called 2 Ways to Kiss a Girl Without Rejection. And I don't remember what the exact tips were, but like, I was careful to write it in his exact voice. And I sent it to him, and he finally wrote me back. He's like, okay, now we can talk.
His name was Eben Pagan, and now Eben became a mentor of his. Next move that he did was huge.
Around that time was when this guy, John Reese, who had a course on how to make money on eBay, and he had a few other things going on.
Yeah.
He put on this seminar, and he charged $4,500 a person to go to this seminar, and he sent this pitch out, and I sent it to Eben. I was like, Eben, please send me to the seminar. I'll go learn all these things and I'll bring it back and I'll work on Double Your Dating and help you grow this business with these tips. And Eben writes back, he's like, okay, write John and see if he will let you and Drew was another guy I worked with, go for the price of one ticket. And if so, I'll send you guys. And it was like in Florida, you know, we were in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
I was like, holy shit, he's gonna pay $4,500 and like fly us to the company behind the seminar. And I wrote in and John, I was like, hey, my name's Craig and I work with this guy Drew for Eben, and we are with this website called Double Your Dating, and we'd like to come. Do you guys do like a partner discount? And John writes back, he's like, oh man, Double Your Dating, you guys are awesome marketers. I'd love to have you guys come, and that sounds great, sure.
And now he's at this conference filled with all of these people in the industry that are leaders, that are selling products, making 7 figures or more.
And I'm looking around this room, and as I was meeting people during the lunch breaks and things like that, I realized everyone in that room was making a killing, working from home around their own hours, and that if I just followed that plan that was in front of me, I could do it too. And that was the first time I realized, like, after, you know, going through every back of the penny saver ad and, like, you know, trying the multi-level marketing things and all that, I was like, okay, this one is real. This is the real get rich thing. It's not necessarily get rich quick, but it is get rich if you follow the steps.
Right. Amazing. So that you gutted this whole place out, right?
Yeah, it was totally like reverse layout. It looked like grandma's house. On it, like, you know, like literally flower wallpaper. But yeah, now I can sit here every day and I can work and look at the Empire State Building while I'm writing, and like nothing's more motivating than that.
Yeah.
She brings the beauty to the house in more ways than one.
I bet. Oh man, I didn't get this good. Dude, I gotta continue the podcast. Wow, this is so amazing. Definitely. If you can't get inspired by this, then I don't know what will do it. This is it. This is it. Wow.
He made me an agreement. He said, you can write 10 pages of hard-hitting sales copy for me every single day. I'll make sure you're making 6 figures a year.
10 pages every single day.
5 days a week. You know?
Right.
Yeah. And he's like, you have to do that for 6 months. I'll make sure you're making 6 figures a year. And I sat down and I wrote those 10 pages, man. I kept writing and writing and writing and writing, and he made good on his promise.
What I really enjoy about Craig is he teaches you that as an entrepreneur, you don't always have to have the next big app idea or any idea. You can find a skill that you're great at, like copywriting. Master that and then offer that type of service and make a ton of money for yourself.
But I was able to identify what I'm good at, and I partner with people who have strengths in the areas that I know I'm weak. And now I'm a partner in this business, one of the owners.
Right.
And there's 4 of us. We all contribute different things.
Right. Craig didn't have an ego. You know, and that's probably one of the biggest things that entrepreneurs need to learn. Let go of that ego. You're not going to be great at everything. Found the thing that you're great at and then fill in the voids. Find people who have the skills to complement your weaknesses.
I mean, in these buildings, like literally, like right here, are the people who are going to change the world in the next, 10, 20, 30, 50 years. Like when I'm looking at the skyline, like every one of these buildings represents someone's dream come to reality. Yeah. Or multiple people, the architect to the investors to the, people that saved up to buy their first apartment in there,